everybody. My name is Shagana, but I go by K, or you can call me K the Bookworm, and welcome to my channel. So, this is my first ever YouTube video, as well as my first ever Booktube video, and what not to bring it in with the newbie Booktube tag. So I have written the questions down here, so if you see me looking down, this is what I'm going to be basically reading from, and let's get started. So number 1 states, why did you start this channel? So background story, I just recently got on to the Booktube side of YouTube last year when I went to my first ever Y'all Fest, which is in Charleston, South Carolina, and I met the book archer. If she's watching this, hey girl. I met her when I was in line getting my first arc actually, and she was just telling me how she is now starting into YouTube, and I tried to YouTube there, but it was really too crowded, and then plus I was really nervous because I kind of am camera shy, so I held it back. But I realized this year, or actually today actually, that I was like, you know what, it's 2020, I'm in quarantine, I have nothing really else to do, and I keep looking at booktubers, and I'm like, I could do this myself, so why not start one? So I did. Number 2, what are some things that are fun and unique that you could bring to the Booktube world? So anybody who knows me knows that I am a huge urban fiction fan. And I've looking through YouTube channels, I realized that there's not a lot of people who talk about urban fiction as much. So I feel as if I could bring that side of genre to the Booktube world and talk about different urban fiction books, the different authors, as well as trying to get more people to read urban fiction instead of like what they normally read. So yeah. Number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? So the most thing I'm excited for is to show the world my love of books. Anybody who knows me knows that I have a ton of books. I'm a huge bookworm. I've been called the bookworm since I was in basically high school. And so I just want to show my love of books to basically everybody, and also recommend new books to people who never really read a book or seen a book like that. Number 4 is, why do I love to read? So I get my reading bug from my mom. My mom, when she was my age, used to read a lot. She used to read like tons and tons and tons of books, and she still has some books that she read when she was my age today. So when I was basically about maybe in the 7th grade, that's when I really started getting my reading bug, and I just started reading some of her books, which I kind of understood. And once that happened, I just started picking up more books that I enjoyed and just love reading. Reading really takes me out of my element. It takes me out of my mindset and out of the world to another fantasy world or to another place, because what is going on, oh I can't talk, with what's going on in the world today with COVID-19 and the Black Lives Matter movement and everything else, it's always good to have a good book to where you could just like free your mind for a while. Number 5, what book or series got you into reading? So I have a background story. So like I stated before in my last question, I started getting my reading bug when I was in the 7th grade, and it was to Miss Palm Mary, shout out to her, that we had a class assignment where we had to read Tears of a Tiger by Sharon M. Draper. And this was the first book that I've ever read that had African American main characters, and they were in high school, but they were like, I still related to them during this time. So we had to do a project, and I remember the project, I think the project was we had to do like a newsletter that incorporated the characters from the book, or what happened in the tragedy of this book, into like a newsletter. And I remember I get an A in it, and I remember like going home and begging my mom to get this book, and I think I read this book like maybe 5 to 6 times, like within that whole year, including like the next year, because I love this book so much, to where I also have Tears of a Tiger, and I have the other 2 books as well, which is Forged by Fire and Darkness Before Dawn. So these 3 books made me fall in love with reading. And then I kind of like pedaled back when I got into high school and a little bit of college, and then that's when I went to the mall and I found The Cartel, which is by Ashley and Jaquavis Coleman. And this is a series. They have 7 books right now. The 8th one is coming very, very soon. But out of all of the 7 books that they have, this is my favorite one of all. This really got me started with my love of urban fiction. I love this book. I love the series. I love the main character. And be on the lookout, because I am going to be doing a review for all 7 books before the new one, Long Live the Cartel, comes out. So yeah, those 3 books, well actually these 4 books, are what got me into reading. Number 6, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So I think the main thing that I would ask my favorite booktubers would be how to read outside of your comfort zone. Like I stated before, I'm a huge urban fiction fan, and I just made a goal for this year to actually start reading more of YA and historical fiction and fantasy, because I really honestly never got into it. So I think that's be the main thing that I'll have to ask the booktubers. And the booktubers that I do follow are Along the Pages, Life as Monet, Left on Red, Christina M, Tea Time Tea Rees, Melanin Electric, Bookish Babe, Asita Menudo. If I said her last name wrong, I'm so sorry. Chasing the Pages, This Story Ain't Over, and a lot more. And it was too long to read, so those are like the main ones that I actually like watch their videos all the time. Number 7, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will bring that is the hardest to overcome? So I think the hardest for me to overcome would probably be my shyness, for one, even though I do have a podcast and I love to talk. I just don't like talking on camera. So that's number 1. And number 2 would be probably the consistency, because I am an Aries, and Aries tend to start projects and don't finish them. So I think those are the main 2 things. But I think more so the consistency is going to be the main thing that I have to really like overcome. Number 8 is, when did you start reading? And I kind of already answered that in number 5. I started reading in the 7th grade, like more actively. And number 9 is, where do I read? So I normally read in my room, which I'm in now. And if I'm not reading in my room, I normally read in my den. And if I'm not in my den, then I kind of read whenever I can, honestly. I read in the car if I'm going on long trips with my parents, or I read if I want to like get away from my room. I read in my living room, or I read in the kitchen table. So yeah, so that was the Booktube tag. If you hear any commotion in the background, I do apologize, but thank you guys so much for watching. This is like nerve-wracking, but I actually did it, and I'm proud of myself for doing it. I love you guys so much. Make sure that you subscribe, like, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about when it comes to books. If you have any reviews that you want me to do, let me know. I plan to do a lot of book reviews, a lot of book hauls, as well as give you guys a tour of my bookshelf, which is right here. And also, the main thing I'm probably going to do is do a urban fiction tag and just show you guys all the urban fiction books that I do have. So until next time, guys, have faith, have confidence, be you, always love you, and I'll talk to you guys later.